Welcome to my channel where Op becomes an intergalactic hero. Our next Reddit post is from No Man. This one's going in the NSFW category just because of the title. It is also going on the long form tag, and it's going under the cut because it contains a ton of violence and blood. There are billions of Deathworlds out there. The closest one to us is 36 light years away. It has a red dwarf star that makes the planet an eternal furnace, and the atmosphere is full of carbon dioxide and methane with sulfuric acid rains. But this story isn't about that planet or any other planet. This story is about Earth. Once upon a time, Earth was the deadliest planet in the galaxy. It all kicked off millions of years ago when humans first appeared. They multiplied fast, hitting 500,000 in just 2 million years. Then came agriculture, and suddenly there was food galore. With more free time, what did they do? They fought over land, cattle, and women. Kingdoms rose and fell, cities burned, and nations crumbled. Every conflict meant more lives lost. Seriously, human warfare turned out to be the most effective way to control the population. Wild, right? Humans really took things up a notch after farming. They started domesticating animals for food, clothing, and labor. But it didn't stop there. They began using these animals in warfare too. Horses let people travel faster. Dogs helped hunt like never before. And cattle, goats, and sheep provided a steady food supply. Imagine being chased by a pack of wild dogs while arrows rain down, or getting trampled by a stampede of cattle. It's wild to think that humans created the ultimate killing machine. And yet again, this led to more deaths. But humans still weren't done. In the 18th century, they invented the Industrial Revolution. Factories pumped smoke into the air, covering the planet in a layer of grime. The rivers ran black with industrial waste, and the oceans were filled with discarded plastics. The human race had become a plague upon the earth. But then something miraculous happened. World War II ended with 2 atomic bombs being dropped on 2 Japanese cities. Humans realized how close they came to ending themselves and their entire planet. They formed the United Nations and vowed to never repeat the mistakes of the past. They began investing in renewable energy sources, cleaning up their waste, and setting aside areas of the earth for wildlife preservation. Finally, humans were acting like the benevolent stewards of the earth they had always claimed to be. But then in the 21st century, things went terribly wrong. An unknown virus emerged in the jungles of Asia. It spread quickly across the world, killing millions of people. Hospitals were overrun. Morgues were full, and the entire globe was thrown into chaos. Humanity seemed to be on the verge of collapse. But then something strange happened. People began to adapt. Some developed immunity to the virus. Others learned to live with its effects, and some simply died. In the end, the virus only had a minor impact on the global population. But this would soon change. In the year 2045, the sun went supernova. It exploded, releasing a massive amount of energy and radiation onto the earth. Plants were burned, forests were leveled, entire cities were turned to glass. But this wasn't the end. The radiation caused the ice caps to melt, raising sea levels around the world. Coastal cities were flooded, islands were submerged, and countless people drowned. The earth was dying, and so was humanity. Yet somehow life found a way. Humans built enormous domes to protect themselves from the sun's radiation. They sealed off entire cities to create underwater habitats, and they abandoned their old lives to live in underground bunkers. As the earth shook with earthquakes, volcanoes erupted and tsunamis crashed against the shore. The few humans who remained on the surface clung to life for dear. Then, in the year 2078, the earth finally calmed down. The sun had moved on, and the radiation had dissipated. The earth was left in ruins, but life still persisted. Small bands of humans roamed the wasteland, scavenging for food and supplies. They fought each other for resources, and the strongest of them all became kings. The earth was once again ruled by men, and they were more ruthless than ever before. These men had seen the worst that the earth had to offer, and they weren't afraid of anything. They led their armies across the wasteland, burning villages and killing anyone who stood in their way. Entire tribes were wiped out, and the earth was once again covered in blood. But then something incredible happened. Humans discovered a new source of energy, fusion power. With this new source of energy, they were able to rebuild the earth. They built new homes, new roads, and new cities. They created new technologies and new weapons. And once again, they divided the earth among themselves. But this wouldn't last. Soon they would find other planets to colonize, and Earth would become nothing more than a distant memory. But this is where the story takes a turn. See, as humans were exploring the galaxy, they encountered an alien species that had heard rumors of the legendary Deathworld. They wanted to see it for themselves. So they contacted the human race and asked if they could visit. Of course, humans agreed, and they showed the aliens around their planet. They took them to the biggest cities, the tallest buildings, and the most powerful weapons. The aliens were impressed. They had never seen anything like it before. And then they made a horrifying discovery. The aliens brought with them a deadly virus that was designed to wipe out any living thing on the planet. It didn't matter if it was a plant, an animal, or a human, nothing could stop this virus. But humans had seen this before. They knew that the earth had already been through a plague, and they were prepared for it. They had developed a vaccine that would protect them from the virus. The aliens were shocked. They had never seen anything like it before. And this is where the story gets really interesting. You see, when the aliens first arrived on the Earth, they were greeted by a sight that they would never forget. They saw humans from all over the planet, humans of all ages, genders, and races, standing together side by side, ready to defend their homeworld. The aliens had never seen anything like it before. They had never seen such unity, such courage, and such determination, and they would never forget it. So when the aliens learned that humans had a cure for the virus, they were amazed. They couldn't believe that a species so small and insignificant could be so advanced. And this is where the story takes another turn. You see, after the aliens learned about the cure for the virus, they begged humans to help them develop a vaccine for their own planet. But humans refused. They didn't want to give away their secret. They were afraid that if the aliens developed a vaccine, they would become too powerful, and then they would come back to Earth and conquer it. The aliens were furious. They couldn't believe that humans would be so selfish. They thought that humans were supposed to be the heroes of the galaxy, but they were wrong. Humans were just like any other species, selfish, greedy, and power-hungry. And this is where the story takes its final turn. You see, the aliens decided that they had enough of humans. They attacked human colonies across the galaxy, killing billions of humans in the process. They destroyed human cities, they burned human forests, and they drowned human farmlands. They did everything they could to destroy the human race. But humans were prepared. They fought back with everything they had. They used their advanced technology, their powerful weapons, and their endless courage to defend themselves. They fought in space battles that spanned entire galaxies. They fought on planets that had never seen life before. They fought in the streets of their own cities, and in the end, they won. They defeated the aliens and drove them out of the galaxy. Humans had saved themselves, but they had also saved the Earth. They had proven that no matter how bad things get, no matter how hopeless the situation seems, humans can always find a way to survive. And that's why Earth is not just a death world. It is the Deathworld. That was our Deathworld story. And if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the same episodes. Also hit that subscribe button because I put out new videos every single day.